Alrighty. Good morning, everybody, or good evening, or good afternoon, whatever the hell it is. But, hello, welcome back. I'm excited. I was so excited today when I was woken up by the garbage truck this morning, so I thought it would be a nice day to draw some garbage trucks. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a simple sketch of this truck and try to paint it up with some watercolor really roughly, and I think it'll be fun. So just before we go, let's look at some stuff from yesterday that we did. We did a little rocket engine with watercolor, so probably something similar in style to this. And then later on in the day, I did this watercolor spaceship. That was sort of, it took way longer than I thought it would. Morning, Jerome. So yeah, and as always, feel free to check out the Dropbox link for all the reference photos, or you can just follow along with this garbage truck, and yeah, we'll just get into it. So today I feel like I'm in a derpy mood, so I'm gonna try to draw like a derpy way today, and also because I feel like it's more fun to see a derpy drawing than a super careful one. So let me try to be a little derpy, and I don't want to go off the page either, so let me try to keep this inside here. So yeah, let me try to be a little bit faster today. I think slow drawing also has its place, but today I'm going to try to be speedy. Hi Robert, how's it going? Welcome back. So I'm going to be a little janky and wobbly. And I hope the watercolor will be okay on top of this, but we'll see. So there's the cabin. This goes over here. Yes, an actual vehicle. It's I guess that's what you guys are here for, huh? Boop, boop, boop. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, so let me, I need to resist the urge to get into little details and things and just try to get this whole thing down, at least derpily. And yeah, I hope you guys will draw along if you just got pen and paper or something. I think this is the best way to learn about vehicle design or whatever kind of design, is just start to do some studies, no matter how derpy. So I'm also drawing the shadow shapes in a little bit, since I know I'm gonna be coming back through here with watercolor, and I'm trying to make the shadow shapes as simple as possible, because I don't want to be super noodly with this drawing. I want it to be pretty loose and energetic. Not that there's anything wrong with being careful. I like to draw carefully too, but today I'm trying to be loose and energetic. This is my energetic voice. So this arm is pretty crazy. It looks ancient. Um, the truck, it kind of sticks out from the truck, I feel like, in terms of style and look, but it's kind of cool, and color too, I guess. But all right, so yeah, I'm feeling good with this derpy drawing. I feel like I at least got the main proportions right here, and I'm gonna be able to get into watercolors soon. Okay, so now I see that the wheel was pretty far off. That's okay. You know, maybe I'll just leave it where it was because nobody will know. Nobody will know. Okay. Okay, and then the shadows. Oh yeah, let me finish drawing this arm. It goes this way. It's pretty janky looking. The arm goes through the wheel. And then here's the trash can. Nice and janky. What is this? Mailbox. Yeah, it's crazy the kind of stuff they put on garbage trucks these days. Garbage trucks are concept art. Auto concept art. Alright, and then we need some big landmarks like this giant snorkel mouth, guppy mouth, and up here. And I hope this lead pencil doesn't look too horrible with the watercolor over it. We shall see. I always, whenever I'm on the highway stuck in traffic, and I get really excited when I'm stuck behind a garbage truck, because I love to just look at them and study all the details and stuff. My friend Joe, his like 4-year-old son is obsessed with garbage trucks, so I think I have the mind of a 4-year-old. We would have a lot to talk about, me and Vern. Okay, is this enough? I think this could be enough to start. So, oh wait, no, there's a little bit more crap in here. Oh. Okay. Now starts the fun part. Here we go. Let's get the watercolor. And I already spritzed it with this giant water spray thing. Let me spritz it one more time. And then I guess I'll lightly spray the whole paper just to get it ready. And get my fancy, oh no, the paper's already curling. And then I have my paper towel in the other hand, my brush in this hand, and let's see, maybe I can put this above. Okay, so let's look at the picture here, and we have, I think the main color base is this light gray, bluish gray. It's like bluish gray, and then maybe a little bit reddish gray, like right down here where the wheel is, right around here, and then bluish all around. And then on the bottom where it's reflecting the floor is also a little bit yellow. So that theme follows through the whole thing. There's blue reflections on top of the can, and then yellow and greenish on the bottom. So we can just try to get a general idea of that going through the whole thing. So I need to mix up this blue that goes all across the whole body, and I'm gonna try to, since we're using watercolor, I'm gonna try to hit it all in one shot, like, because I don't want it to dry out, and then if I let it dry out and then try to go over it again, it's gonna be like twice as dark as the first layer of watercolor. So I want it to all be going down at the same time in one layer, so it's all the same value. Okay, all right, let's see. I need to mix. Where's my... Okay, where is it? I need to find a nice blue and a little tiny bit of red, I think, to make it a little grayish. A little bit more blue. Okay, I've got more like purple right now. I need blue, 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 blue. Shit, that's not the right blue. I have too many blues here. I don't know which blue is which. Alright, I'll use the one that looks most like a bluey blue. A super blue. Okay. Alright, okay, here we go. Here we go. I think this is the right color. I should probably test this out on another piece of paper. Let me see. 1 second. Okay. Alright. Alright. I think a little bit darker. Okay, that's good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Alright. You just gotta get the whole thing all at once and pretty wet. See if I can do it. All in here. Skip the white part here. I drew this outline for the shadow to help me. I think it needs to be, oh shit. I can go over the window here because the window is generally darker, so I don't have to leave that white. Then all this business here should probably also be dark. Could also, I mean, I know that the bottom here is going to be black in the end, but you could kind of like give yourself a mental note by putting in that blue there, that okay, this is darker down here. This blue might be good for the edges of the shadows too, as like this is what it's fading out to, from black to that blue on the edge. All right, and I need to continue over here. We also have the darkness in here. Am I gonna do figure studies? Maybe someday. I'm not super confident with figures, but yeah, maybe that'd probably be a good thing to practice. Although it might be painful to watch. But yeah, I need to work on that. Do, 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 do. My neighbor is outside right now, and he always leaves his car hood open all night. He just leaves it open no matter what. As soon as he gets home, he opens the hood, puts a cover on the car, and leaves it all night. I don't know what that's for. Do any of you guys know why somebody would leave the hood of their car open all night? He actually has 2 cars, and he moves them around every once in a while, and he always leaves the hoods open. And it's a mystery. He's a mysterious man. Oh yeah, mechanical figures would be cool. Seth says OCD, but what about what compels you to do that though? Like, what's the reason for it? I thought OCD is like, oh, if I don't feel clean, I need to wash my hands, which that makes sense, but what's the reason for leaving the... And now he's covering the car again. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. All right, so that's close. I think the camera is a bit bright. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay. And the trash can is pretty green. I like how juicy this brush is. Okay. And the grass is pretty green over here. Yeah, this is a DSLR connected with a cam link over USB. Is the stream quality looking okay for you guys? Maybe a blue pen would be better. Actually, it looks like it downgraded the quality. All right, let me put a little frame here. Shit. Damn palette, get out the way. Yeah, the cam link goes between the camera and the PC, and it's genius. Like, then you basically got a DSLR as a webcam. It is awesome. Alright, my neighbor's car finally started. I think he can now continue on with his day. Okay, alright. So what about that super bright yellow arm? I think we need to get in there. Oh, actually it's kind of orangey. So I'll just kind of outline the entire thing orange, and then I'll go back in and do the darker parts after. And again, if you joined in later, you can check out the links in the description. There's actually a class folder where we've been posting some of the, I mean, not a class folder, a stream folder where we've been posting some photos of drawings that everybody does. It's kind of cool to see what people do. We've been doing like little weird exercises every day. Today, I don't think there's anything too crazy. We're just trying to do this truck. But yesterday we did a mechanical koala. That was kind of fun. But yeah, I kind of want to treat this sort of like a informal class, or just a group where we just draw and try to, just keep a habit and study and get better at drawing. So that's the idea with this whole thing. And it's also just me trying to be productive and trying to use social media as a way to get me to be more productive rather than just sitting around and on Facebook or whatever. So actually this whole part here is darker, so I need to, and this whole part is darker. So this always happens. I find myself like starting to draw in little specific shapes, but then I realize, wait a minute, I'm totally missing the big picture. Like, I don't need to be going in and doing these little tiny triangles and things. I need to just blast in a whole area. And that's what's going to make your paintings, like if you go in and do little tiny shapes, it's going to look really spotty in the end. So it's tricky. You just got to keep remembering to check yourself and make sure you're hitting all the giant shapes first. I posted on Instagram with German writing. No, I was just doing a study from a German book or some picture online. So, nope, I don't speak German. I wish I did. Boo, 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 boo. So, okay, what are we missing here? We need probably this gray that's happening in the front bumper. I'm going to try to get a really dark brown or grayish Hello, Mr. Poop Dicks. Welcome back. How nice of you to join us. We are drawing trash trucks today. Okay, let's get the black. Alright. What helped you to start seeing color better in plein air painting, and what do you do if you're unsure what an exact color might be? Hey Guillermo. Hello. Alright, so that's a really good question, Jerome. I think the plein air the cool thing about going out and doing plein air with people is like sometimes you could be doing a painting and you're sitting there for hours and you don't know what you're doing anymore, and then someone else might come up behind you and say, oh, you missed that giant shadow over there, or this color is way more green, or that's way more blue, or whatever. So it's really tough because our eyes are, always constantly adjusting to things, so we tend to lose track of what's happening over time. So it's nice to have someone else there to tell you things, and then you see it. And then over time, I think if you do that enough and you get enough, over time you'll be able to sort of check yourself that way, where you can stand back and say, if you might feel that a color is a little bit too dull or too, not sensitive enough. That's not really a good answer though. I think one thing I was really missing when I started painting was shadows. Like in the shadows, I would put a dark black or gray, and I wasn't really thinking about colors. Like for example, right here, if I put a black here, maybe I could add in, well, this photo is kind of killing the color, but could add blue or red, and just playing more with color in the shadows is something that I picked up from plein air. And another thing I learned from that is that you don't really have to hit the exact right colors most of the time. You're actually trying to put down a bunch of colors that are sort of close to what's there. And then once they're down, that's when you actually start to, in the second pass of color where you're comparing versus what you already have down, that's where you nail the colors and you make it really feel good. So it's kind of like a two-stage thing, I feel like. At least for me right now. Maybe if you're really, really good with color, you can hit it on the first shot. But for me, it usually takes at least two. I need something there first to help me judge, and then I can sort of finesse it on the second try. Oh yeah, so simplifying for sure is a huge thing from plein air because the light changes very quickly, so we have to get something down really fast. And I noticed that whenever I do a quicker painting, it just has a nicer energy and it feels better than really slow, like laborious paintings. So it helped me to be more loose with painting and, like, I guess less tight with all the, I don't know, just not caring as much because we're only doing this painting for about an hour or two. So I'm not as precious with it as I used to be. When I first started plein air, I would spend like 4 or 5 hours and everybody else would have gone home already. And I was doing these really detailed paintings, but then, I don't know, I eventually started moving towards more simple things, and I think that helped. Right, so now I'm trying to find all the really dark spots and hit them with this dark purple. So even if the color there is not exactly purple, I think it's kind of cool. Purple always looks nice in shadows, so I'm just going to use it. I also learned with plein air that even the wrong colors can kind of look cool. If you're playing with colors everywhere, it sort of will make sense even though it's wrong. As long as you're kind of doing it everywhere. Yeah, definitely the values are pretty important. So if I'm working on one value, I'll try to find it everywhere in the image at once. So I have it kind of organized like in layers. So if I'm working on this dark color here, I'll just try to go around and find it everywhere at once instead of jumping around too much. I want to be able to say like, oh, I did all that I can with that value at this point in the painting. And then I might go back to it later, but at least for this stage, I've been consistent and I took care of it as much as I could. I feel like this is too purple. Purple's super strong. Damn it. Maybe I should spray this thing. Oh, maybe not. Okay, what else are we missing here? Probably, let's try to get some of those other, the face dark shapes in, because that might help to judge the rest of it. So, yeah, we're trying to get all the big, obvious things out of the way first. And then from there we can make better judgments on the more subtle values, hopefully. I just need to be able to mix the right color-ish. Damn, that was messy. And then the windows are kind of like green and blue, bluish. Morning, Igor. Welcome back. How are you doing? We're painting trash trucks today because today is trash day and they are all over the place right now. And we're doing a fancy Transformers Michael Bay trash truck. Is there a garbage truck transformer? I forget. I feel like there should be one, if there isn't. We could also work on the background here. Like there's some trees in here and that house, and I think just having those dark bits will help to pop out the truck too from the background. So I'm gonna just get really wet and loose back here, and I think there's a little bit of red because the green is not super bright back there. It's not super cheerful and bright, so it's a little bit brownish in some parts, and then other parts are more greenish. All right, and that'll also help with the reflections because it tells us like, oh, there's green there. That's why the windows are all reflecting that color. And it's also going over this house. And then there's some super dark. So that's like green with blue, I think, in here on the top right. Sometimes I put the blue or the colors directly onto the paint, onto the paper instead of mixing it first if I want a really strong, much stronger color. Hey Massimo, welcome back. We're going in here, just painting some trash trucks. And then the house back here is sort of like, it's a little bit green. That dark face of the house is a little bit green because it's reflecting the grass in front of the house. So maybe I can put that strong, bright yellowish green of the lawn. I'll put that first just as like a benchmark to say this is as intense and bright as the green is going to be in the lawn. And then the face of the house should be like a muted down, slightly cooler version of this. So I could even just water down this existing color here just by watering it down and maybe a tiny bit of blue. I feel like that should give us something. Okay, You can also pick up some of the paint there from the grass and bring it into the face. So you have, it's like a color picker in Photoshop. And now we have that green shadowed face. And that's the cool thing about watercolor. You can get different variations of the same color pretty easily by just adding more water. Alright, and then there's a dark, really dark green shadow over here. Oh, that should be more green probably. I'll add a little bit of yellow to that. Yeah, that's better. I should have painted this whole area that light green so that I could have little bits of the light green popping out from in between the shadows, but it's okay, I'll just cover it up for now. So you could get like the little bits in between the leaves. Anyway, so this dark shadow goes all the way underneath the bumper, which is kind of cool. It wraps around the shape. Okay, then what else is really obvious here? I think probably the ground and the sky would help. So let me wash off all that green, and then, okay, let's do the ground first. So it's like a weird brown, a watery brown. Maybe a little bit. I'm going to try to do this before it all dries off, but it's okay to go over the shadow too, because that color is pretty dark, and I don't think you're going to be disturbing it too much by going over it. I would avoid going over the yellow though, because that's kind of lighter, more sensitive. How many of you guys in here paint? Does anybody paint? Or thinking about painting? Or what's your favorite paint medium? All digital from G Castro and Form Affinity, paint in acrylic and watercolor. Nice. And iPad only. I won't touch traditional again. What did traditional do to you, Simon? Mr. Poop Dicks does acrylics and oils. Very fancy. And Igor is using a pen. Classic. Nice. Oh yeah. Why do schools always do acrylic? I wonder why that is. And I always hated acrylics in school too. I feel like they feel really, they dry so fast. It's like just hard, really tough medium. I would not want to learn on acrylic. I think acrylic put me off of painting for a long time, and then my friend introduced me to oils, and then I started painting again. Let's see. Did a lot of gouache in school. Nice. Have I tried gouache? Yeah, I love gouache. I'm actually usually painting with gouache. Not really. It's just not for me. It's tedious. I'm more about the thinking and studying, and digital gives me the most headspace to think. All right. Yeah, that's true. You do have more flexibility with digital. And Jesse wants to try gouache. I mean, yeah, it's awesome. It's a totally different animal than watercolor, and it's really interesting to see the contrast when you start working with gouache. But you should definitely try it. Igor avoided aquarelle because I'm too sloppy. Oh dang. Yeah, I feel like watercolor is super unforgiving, because once you screw up your whites, and you're screwed. Yeah, oil, watercolors, and gouache, and acrylics. Jeez, you've done everything. Okay. And Spencer says, the school allowed us to do oil, but acrylic is safer and easier to clean. So I think yeah, that's true. But so is gouache and watercolor are both safe and easy to clean, and they don't dry out like in 2 seconds. Form Infinity Gouache is awesome. Yes, exactly. Mistakes. And using acrylic like watercolor. Does it look as smooth though when you're putting down those giant washes with the acrylic? Or yeah, how does it behave different? I feel like I've tried using gouache like watercolor and it works, but it doesn't look as smooth somehow. Like I'm not sure why. It looks a little grainy. Right, let me put in this sky here while we're going. Yeah, don't the old school matte painters use gouache? I think so. I know the Ghibli painters use poster paints, which I've never tried. I'm trying to get a little gradation down here. Oh, that's kind of ugly. All right. Using streams inspire me to do some traditional painting. I'm going to find my paints today. Nice. That's awesome. Um, Real pigments refract light much differently than pixels. This is true. Pixels is kind of like a luxury. You just get the exact color you want and don't have to guess at all. I really appreciate watercolors and traditional techniques, but for work purposes I have to use the undo command very often. So all digital. But you do have undo. There's this thing called white paint. I think the difference between gouache and watercolor and acrylic oil is that you lay in only shadows with the former and work with both shadows and light in the latter, which allows different teaching. Interesting. At least that's what my professor's reasons were. Okay. Interesting. I feel like maybe it's because acrylic paint is cheaper, at least in terms of volume, is the reason why they use it in school so much, but I don't know, it's just such a horrible first medium, I feel like. Because it makes you feel, it's difficult. Like, why would you want to start on a more difficult medium? Alright, I'm going to try to go in and go over these shadows again. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to pick, if I go over the same spot too much, it'll pick up the paint and actually make it lighter instead of making it darker like I want. So I think I have to be careful and stop like noodling too much, because that's basically the paint telling me to stop touching it when it's picking itself up like that. Gouache is even cheaper. Not here. For us, I don't know, like a gouache tube is like $6 or $7 to $10, and they're tiny. I think this painting just needs a bunch more dark stuff. I need to get in and punch up the shadows, because in general it feels like it's on the light side to me compared to the photo. So I'm just going to be like a shadow hunter right now and just find them. And I also think I was not being watery enough. I need more water in here. Well, duh, man. It's called watercolor for a reason, bro. Bro. What are you, bro? Okay. And then all in here, basically all this entire area under the arm is dark, and I didn't even notice that. But now I can see it. I can see. It's a miracle. Yeah, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of working and then comparing and then checking back, and then you start to see things. And there's that whole other yellow arm that I missed there. Or maybe you guys are seeing all of this right away and you're just not telling me. What the hell? You gotta tell me when I'm missing all these obvious things. Yeah. This is great. I can hear all the garbage trucks outside right now. So I have all the sound effects too. Perfect. Really? In Russia, gouache is the cheapest paints? What? That's awesome. I need to go visit Russia as soon as possible. Here, gouache is like fancy. It's a luxury. Ooh, you're painting with gouache? Wow. Excuse me. Mr. Moneybags over here. Because they give you so little and paints are so expensive. Could be the next Bob Ross. Damn, I need to work on my fro. Not there yet. There's already Ross Draws. Have you guys watched Ross Draws? I think he's got the fro going. He's got the Bob Ross thing going. He took my moto class one time before he was Bob Ross Draws. But I don't think he does 3D anymore. Ross does sound effects. What kind of sound effects? Like painting sound effects? Like water swishing around? Yeah, he does illustrations, but he can design also. He's art center guy. He's pretty good with design as well. Okay, there's a little dark spot right here. Okay, I'm gonna try to blast in all this real quick. I think I need more water so it's not so splotchy. Like, there we go. That's better. More water. I need to get better paper too. This one's like just warping like crazy. And then the inside of here, we also have a little bit. All right, I think some red inside of the blue will help it to get darker down here. And then the upper side of that blue is going to stay light. Okay, and then in here, oh, there's a garbage truck. Here it is. Hello. Hello, Mr. Truck. Oh man, that one's got a crazy arm. Shoot, I wish I could videotape it. Oh man, that one's a quick one. Bye, Mr. Truck. Yep. We got all the trash. Okay, what else? Let's see. Do you think making art that doesn't really have a purpose is not as fulfilling as making things for movies or games? Are you saying that movies or games is the only thing with purpose in life, man? Well, this has a purpose. It's to study and learn. And I don't know. I think I'm not actually a huge pop culture fan and movie buff like a lot of people in this industry are. So I like movies, but I'm not like super crazy about movies. If that makes sense. Like I don't go out to see movies on opening night. So I would say I don't really care that much about working on some like a popular culture franchise or something. But that's what this industry is all about. So a lot of people are super movie nerds, and it's pretty interesting too because you can talk about movies like forever. And I'd rather talk about movies than about accounting or lawyering or whatever. I like older movies. I don't care about any of the franchises that are going on right now. Like I watched the last Star Wars on Netflix and it was really just sad. Yeah, a lot of them did start because of Star Wars. Just wanted to become a car designer. Me too, man. Me too. One of the things about car design that was like interesting was how everybody in school only talked about cars all the time, and people would just like talk about specs and talk about the headlights on this car are so cool or whatever, and oh my god, it was really overwhelming sometimes. All right, see ya, Seth. Thanks for joining. I'll check out that David Dewey. Okay, I think now that we have the darks in under the truck, I'm definitely seeing that this blue here on the side shadow is not dark enough. It needs to be way darker. So let me let me drink some coffee so I can survive. And then I'm gonna go in and darken all the side in here. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Mr. Poop Dicks said what I was thinking. But to me, the most pure art is the ones that we do when we're kids and we're bored in class. That is the highest form of art that there is. And then after that, you know, art becomes about having a career and you know, getting into a gallery maybe, or this and that. But when we're kids doing it, that's pure art. And I'm trying to figure that out again. I mean, there's not that many artists. I haven't ever met an artist that did not used to draw when they were a kid. I mean, I guess everybody sort of drew when they were little, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. The side has to be darker. That's what I'm saying. When I applied to college, they asked me for my portfolio. I got the bare minimum of pages, and they asked me if I got more. But all were in my class notebooks. Damn, man, you could have. Oh, you could have snipped them all off and had like a bunch of margins as your portfolio. Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up. Yeah, that's a good way to say it, Mr. Picasso. Kids are also like so funny. I wish I could go back to being a kid for like just a minute, just to see how crazy and like raw everybody was. Before we learned how to talk like adults, man, kids are funny. They don't give up about anything. They don't care about your feelings. They have no sense of right and wrong sometimes. They're just brutal little animals. That's why they got the best art. They're crazy. Got suspended in 3rd grade because I drew various comics with my classmates and someone snitched. What the hell? They were just jealous. They're jealous that they weren't part of the cool kids club. Let's see. Massimo says drugs are the answer. Okay, thanks. Check that out. Next time we do the stream, might be a little bit experimental. Might have some sitars or Okay, darkening this up. We need more. More. Ow. This is the pain with watercolors. You gotta leave all these empty spots all the time for the lights. It's so annoying. With gouache, would just blast through that. Okay, featuring your classmates. Did you have the teacher in your comics too? You have your teacher as a... I don't know what the teacher would be. I feel bad for all the teachers in middle school. Those are the true champions of life, dealing with all the kids. We had the worst kids ever. So disrespectful. Oh, nice. All the teachers. I'm sure the teachers love the comics, right? Where, I don't know. Kids are so messed up to teachers. It's gotta be the most soul-crushing job ever. Oh, man. But yeah, thank you to all of my teachers when we were little. You guys, I don't know how you survived. I don't know. That must have been hell. Okay, Massimo. Wink, 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 wink. All right. Okay. Now I think it's looking a little bit better. Not quite as anemic as before. And now we get to put in these interesting little trapezoid shapes everywhere. Where the shadows are. My favorite part of the painting is probably the darkest darks and the lightest lights. Those are just so satisfying because you spent all this time making this slow buildup of values over time, and you're trying to be very methodical and very like resisting the urge to noodle and resisting the urge to put in those dark shadows, and then finally you're just like, yeah, put that in there, and then you put these darks in here. It's like, yes, and you earned it. It's like you were waiting patiently that whole time, and you didn't touch those darks. You did it all by the book. Methodical. You were patient. Hello, Charlie Chive? Charlie Chive or Charlie Chive? Igor, I think. Oh, one good one is to just draw with Sharpie. So you can do black and white with Sharpie. Like for this photo, maybe. You could do. Just try to figure out if you only had two values for this entire picture, where would you put them? Actually, let me do that because that's a good exercise. Let's see. If we had just one value for this whole thing, how would we do it? And this will just force you to think like, it just forces you to make decisions about value. So, let me do this real quick. So for this guy, I think it would be definitely the shadows here would be dark. And then under the wheels would be dark. But then the big choice for this image is, do you want to include all of this mid-tone stuff as a dark side, or are you going to leave that light? So I don't know. I think I would call this all dark. And this is kind of cheating because this marker is dead, but if I had a real marker here, I'm going to decide to consider all of this junk as the dark side. Like here, 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 here. And I don't know if this will turn out okay, but let's see. And then all of this too. Oops. But we could probably leave a little bit open for those where the sky is coming through on the windows. But then the rest is dark. And then definitely all the shadows. So I guess values is about making deliberate choices about what you want to do, because you can't really capture everything using the tools that we have. So you have to pick and choose what you want and then stick to that. So I don't know, maybe this is too dark, but it could work. This kind of looks more like a really harsh light, but since we're only dealing in two values, that's kind of just what happens. And then probably the front here I would consider dark. And the headlights. And the bumper, of course. these guys. Charlie. Okay. Anyway, then you could say here. So, yeah, it's about grouping stuff up, organizing, and simplifying, and just choosing what's gonna be part of what group. I hope that helps. But yeah, try to simplify if you can with value. Yeah, simplify everything. And even when you see a bunch of different values very close to each other, the trick is you get all of those and bring them into one big shape instead of a bunch of small shapes. You only put in the dark shadow with this method, or all shadows with black? I'm not sure that. Oh, the darkest shadow with this method. Well, with this method, I mean, if we only have two values, you just make a choice. I could have done the same picture while making the choice of leaving the white shadow side white. I mean, so that's another option, and that one might work well too. But I just made a choice here to include all the side of the truck in the shadow of the black. So, I mean, it's just up to you. But the point is, when you have only two values, it forces you to make those kind of choices. And because in my brain, I know that this black here is not that dark, but regardless, I'm gonna make it that dark because that's what fits into my two-tone scheme. So that's kind of how you go through and deal with something that's more complicated like this. So I'm trying to like make those kind of choices where I get everything that's similar to a certain value and I group them all together, and just, even though it's not exactly that, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to finish the thing in time, is by simplifying it. And usually when you simplify, it'll look better in the end, because it looks more calm, and people like simple things, I think. This is watercolor. So like in this case, for this picture, all the yellow here, I basically did the same thing as this, but for the yellow, where everything is one value of yellow, I put that all down first, and then I picked another darker value of yellow and just put that all in. And so I broke it up into two pieces, and then just one more even darker piece. But there's a lot more values in the actual picture, but I'm just simplifying it down to only 3. And then I just do the same thing for like the truck body or for whoever. Yeah, Frank Miller, I think comic book people are really good at this because they have to draw very fast and efficiently. So they're really good at simplifying. And it's cool because even though you're simplifying, it looks like a style. It makes it even better, really, when you simplify. Okay, so now I have to decide if I think I want this part to be darker too, so I'm gonna go back and I mean, when you look at a lot of really great artists and you go really close up to their paintings or you go close up to their drawings, the cool thing is you see how simple they do it. Even though when you look at it at a glance or from far away, you're thinking like, wow, that's the most complicated, intense drawing I've ever seen. But then when you look at it, it's really crazy to see those things up close. Because it's kind of like a magic trick. They like fooled you into thinking it's more than what it actually is. And that's what the great artists do. Uh-oh, did I get too dark there? Maybe not. Oh yeah, use white value to reveal shapes. It's hard stuff, man, but it's really a cool effect. Yeah, man, gotta use that white. I need to look that up. Hermitage. St. Petersburg. Holy crap, that's a huge building. That building looks amazing. Hermitage. Okay, I definitely want to check that out someday. Oh shoot. Yeah, let's check out Igor on ArtStation. Let's see. Holy crap. Whoa. Nice. Damn, I love that Inktober mech. That's awesome. Whoa. If you guys... Oh, I forgot to put the link, add links ability, but let me post the link here in the chat. Igor has some intense work. Whoa, I like that, the beach one. The mech on the beach. Is that like, is that a Hind helicopter? Yeah, man, awesome work. I love that ink stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Damn, that's a really long freelance job, man. Nice. Congrats. Do, 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 do. I think I need more yellow in here. Hello, Mr. T. Nice of you to join us. We are drawing trash. This is real life concept art. Uh-oh, that's way too dark there. Maybe I can pick it up with this nasty rag. Oh. I need a new rag. Be right back. Oops. Oh well. Do you have any favorite artists? Don't know. Let's see, favorite artist. Right now I've got a bunch of favorites on Instagram. There's John Fry, Damon Moran, Walter Kim, I guess Kim Jong-gi, Alberto Mielgo, Robert Valley, who else? Teo Prince. Oh man, there's like billions. Tozozozozozo. Christian Pierce. So many good ones. Instagram is a gold mine. Teo Prince, where has he been? He's probably living in a mountain somewhere living with a pack of geese. Guy's so epic. I think he's American. Italian art isn't Topi. Topi's Italian, right? He's one of my favorites. And this guy, Giuseppe, a painter, is really good. Garbage trucks are awesome, man. All the 4-year-olds love garbage trucks. Any kind of heavy equipment. I just love to stare at them. I'm trying to make the shadow like warmer down here. Definitely missing some business over in this corner. Maybe I need to draw a little bit. It's okay to draw, I guess, right? There's no rules here. This is a rule-free zone. I'm gonna try to figure out the window. There's gonna be this thing here. Have you ever placed human figures into drawing? Once in a while. I don't do it that much though. I should try to do it more. Yeah, that would be really good for scale. I don't know where the... Oh, there is a guy in here. I think he's like wearing this green shirt. But you don't see his face. He's just like a green blob. Alright, I need to figure out that green blob later. So, yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable drawing than painting. So if I get stuck on a painting, I'll usually try to go in and draw a little bit. Like, what about all this stuff here? T is bringing out the painting police. Uh-oh. It's the painting police. T. The... They decided they didn't want to risk it. What does that mean? Why did they contact you then? I should stop relying on the drawing. I totally forgot this wheel over here. Oops. Oopsie. So you guys get jobs from job offers from ArtStation a lot? Or there's a lot of people, or I don't know how ArtStation works. I'm too crusty for ArtStation. and you guys want to stay freelance so you can work at home and stuff, wise man. Okay, how about some orange? Rather work in the studio. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Personally want to freelance, but it feels crazy lonely. Yep, that's true, Marion. I totally agree. You just gotta find other people to keep you company and like work with you. If you know any other freelancers, it's good to just go work at their place, or they work with you, or go to a cafe or something. Oh yeah, Discord. That's what all the kiddos are using these days. Get on the Discords. Surf the Discords. It's fun and easy. Just a few easy steps. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh. It's motivation. Motivation. Plans after the stream are to probably eat and figure out what I'm doing tomorrow for the Blender stream. I'm gonna be, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'm doing Blender. So if you're interested in 3D stuff, you can check that out. I already made a stream event on here. But yeah. Yes, tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. PST, the event is made. You can check it out on my Facebook. Actually, no, it's here on the YouTube. Check it out on my YouTube channel. Going to have plenty of demos. Gonna do some rendering, some lighting, all of that good stuff. And just have a chat about Blender. Put it in the Blender. Yeah, I'm not using Moto right now, but Moto looks like it's got some cool stuff in the latest release, but I can only handle one at a time, one program at a time. Cool. Oh, excited to see you guys there. And yeah, let me know if, I don't know. I guess we'll just keep it casual and just talk there. I don't think I'm gonna have any, like, maybe I'll try to do questions in advance on the heavy poly group. But yeah. We'll see. It's an experiment. I need to make this green garbage man here. He's kind of disappearing a little bit. All right. Okay, I need to wrap this up. I'm just gonna outline the windshields because they're a little bit undefined. Relying on the drawing again. Make the drawing a little bit janky to fit in with the jankiness of the whole thing. All right, I think that's it. Oh, Miriam, this is just regular. It's just really thick copy paper. I think it's like 120 pound or something like that. But it should be. I should use better paper because these keep warping. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow and same time, 11 a.m. And also there's the Blender stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. PST. And also, I'm going to do an Instagram stream with my friend John Fry. I think I'm a little addicted to streaming right now. But yeah, John Fry is this amazing industrial designer. And we're going to go on Instagram tonight, hopefully. We're shooting for 8 p.m. tonight on Instagram. So anyways, thank you guys for hanging out and chatting. And it's good to see you all again. And okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.